AI, artificial intelligence. Have you seen my inbox is flooded with a whole bunch of information about AI, and I'm here to tell you that there is a flood of this coming to an inbox near you. Sprocket. I'm here with my dog. The reason I'm out here as a homeschooler, I want you to know that artificial intelligence is coming and is going to transform the way that your kids learn. And I want you to embrace this season of change with the same idea that when I was in school, way back in the days when the grass was still green, they would say things like, you can't use a calculator because you're not always going to have a calculator with you. They were not right about that one. Good boy. Good boy. Artificial intelligence is like that. You may be hearing that it's going to be taking over. It can write, it can organize, it can do all this stuff for you. But your kids need some equipping about how to approach artificial intelligence when they are doing things like studying. I don't want you to fear artificial intelligence coming and making our kids dumb, because it truly is powerful. These engines that can write, they can't think yet, but they're building in things like emotions, but they can do things like write. Sprocket, my youngest son, was in a college class and he said, "Mom, have you heard about this chatbot GPT?" And I'm like, "No, I hadn't heard about it." He's like, "Kids are using it to cheat. They're using it to write their essays, their finals. You can pop in anything and it spits out the right answers." I was like, "Oh my goodness gracious." So on this first layer, what do we want our kids to know? We want our kids to be able to use any piece of technology appropriately. We don't want them to cheat, but we also want them to know how to use tools in a way that helps them with life. You can use these types of tools right now to generate ideas for the topics that you want to write an essay about, or ideas for how you can learn about a certain topic or idea, sources for different things. So here's my layer for today. Artificial intelligence. What do you think? Have you heard about it? Have you played with it? Are you scared of it? Are you resistant to it? Inside one of my groups, there was some, back and forth about AI, and it instantly blew up into this ethical conversation about whether or not we should use AI to do anything, especially creatively, if you're going to be using the technology to then turn it into some kind of business idea or product. And I would love to hear from you, because I think that this conversation needs to continue. It needs to have a foundation to it, and I would love to be able to give you some tips and tricks and tools for how you can teach your kids how to use the tools of AI coming at you, or at least to give you enough information so that you can decide whether or not to avoid it for another year or two. But it's here to stay, and we need to make sure that our kids are properly educated so that they don't just fall into the AI tunnel that's about to happen and get lost. So we want to make sure they're still critical thinking and using their brains, but using the tools at their fingertips in an appropriate way. So comment below. I would love to hear from you, and I'll circle back soon and we'll continue the conversation.